Kirk, are you able to hear everybody okay?
Yeah, I can hear one just fine. If they talk into their microphone.
Peter, can you hear us?
We can.
Okay, Peter.
All right, I call to order the Select Board meeting for Monday, June 9th, 2025. It is 7 p.m. We are in the training room of the Public Safety Complex and available on Zoom. The Zoom meeting link is available on the agenda, which of course is on the website. All right, we'll begin with consent items. Number one, approve the meeting minutes from the regular meeting held on June 3rd, 2025. Number two is to award the fiscal year 25-15 bid for the Klingele building renovation contract. Number three, approve the recommendation of Rutland select person Leah Whiteman to serve as the Wachusett Regional School District team member for the Wachusett Regional School Committee negotiation team for July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2028. And number four, we have a request from the Boy Scout Troop 105 to use the Wentworth field for a campout. The dates are listed in the agenda. Do I have anything on the consent items?
Nope, no objections.
Any objection, Kirk?
No objections.
All right, we will consider the consent items passed then, and we will go on to number three, which is an update from our Chief of the Fire Department, Mike Pingitore.
Good evening, Select Board. Good evening, everybody out in the audience and watching at home. So tonight, I kind of want to do something special. Instead of hearing me drone on and on about the budget and those types of battles, I got something really positive for everybody. So good evening. Thank you again, the Paxton Select Board, for allowing us at your very important meeting tonight to share this moment with you and everyone in attendance and watching at home. Tonight, we come together not just to celebrate a remarkable event, but to honor the spirit of service, selflessness, compassion, and courage that defines the Paxton Fire Department. In the early morning hours of May 24th, something truly extraordinary unfolded. The Wilkinson family, who's with us today, from Oakham, en route to St. Vincent's Hospital, found themselves in a moment of urgency as Mother Olivia, her labor began to progress pretty rapidly. With several minutes yet to drive, they turned to the Paxton Fire Department for help. Help was exactly what they received. Paramedic Colleen Plant, firefighter EMT Sean Mead responded without hesitation, with calm professionalism and unwavering focus. They began transporting the expectant mother toward the hospital, but baby Tatum had her own plans. Just before reaching the Paxton-Worcester line, it became clear that this baby wasn't going to wait. In the back of Ambulance 2, under the steady hands and compassionate care of paramedic Plant, baby Tatum entered the world, healthy, strong, and surrounded by heroes. And Dad was there. In emergency medical services, there are countless calls that demand strength, skill, and resolve. But there are few moments as profound as helping bring a new life into the world. It is a rare and beautiful honor, a reminder of the humanity at the heart of this profession. Colleen and Sean, your actions that moment were nothing short of heroic. You brought calm to chaos, comfort to a family in need, and joy to a moment that will be cherished forever. You didn't just deliver a baby, assist delivering a baby. You delivered hope, reassurance, and a story that will be told for generations. To baby Tatum, welcome to the world. You were born into the arms of heroes, and your story begins with love, courage, and community. let us take a moment to recognize and thank the men and women who make up the ranks of the Paxton Fire Department for their unwavering commitment to service and for reminding us of the beauty that can emerge in life's most unexpected moments. I want to thank everybody. And before I get off the podium here, I'd like to bring up Tina Dixon, Director of Central Mass EMS Corporation in Region 2, with stork pins for Colleen and Sean Mead. Colleen Plant, Sean Mead.
Most often you deal with the worst days of people's lives. And I hope this pin reminds you of one of the best days of someone's life that you were able to assist with. It's my pleasure from the Director of Central Mass EMS to pin you with your stork pin.
You guys want to chase Colleen down? All right. Thank you again for interrupting your meeting. Mom, Dad, Wilkinson family, clan, if you want to join us outside for some photo ops and meet and greet, that would be fantastic. All right. Thanks, guys.
Mike, anything like that, interrupt anytime you'd like.
Absolutely.
I know.
Sister.
Talk about Tuesday. Think about something else.
All right, we're on to new business, and first up, we have our discussion of the next steps in the process for searching for an interim town administrator. Julie, if you want to lead this discussion, since you led us through most of this process?
Sure. So we made the determination some time ago to move toward an interim town administrator until we're able to find our next permanent town administrator. And we did post that position, I think 2 weeks ago now. So we do have some applicants. The intent that I had at the time was that the chair of the committee, then three-person board, would be able to take a look at those and choose up to 3 applicants to come in for interviews. Now that we have a 5-person board, we could have 2 people as a sub-quorum to be able to act as a screening committee for our possible interim town administrators and select, if the board so wishes, up to 3 candidates to come in for interviews. So that's our intention at this point in terms of selecting an interim, and then as a board we'll come up with how we choose to move forward with selecting a permanent town administrator.
So I would recommend then that, Julia, you lead that process, and Carol, would you mind working with Julia on narrowing it down to our 2 or 3 finalists out of the interim pool? Carol, I choose you only, I ask you only because of your background and knowledge of the position. And of course, Julia, you were the chair at that time. Yeah, that's good, that works. So then, may I have a motion to form a subcommittee of Julia and Carol to move forward with that process?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor? Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Very good, thank you both.
Thank you.
All right. Number 2, we have a request from the Wachusett Regional School District to once again appoint the Paxton representative to the Audit Committee. Mr. Love has served in this role for, is that 3 years? Is that correct, Mr. Love? And his term is coming up, but it is my understanding from our town administrator that you have agreed to continue in this role. And that's a nod of approval for those of you that don't get to see him at home.
Yes.
All right, thank you. So may I have a motion then to appoint Mr. Love to the Audit Committee for the Wachusett Regional School District to represent the town of Paxton?
I'll move that we appoint Mark Love to the Audit Committee for the Wachusett Regional School District.
How about a second, Kirk?
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, Julia?
Aye.
Chris? Aye. Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All right, next up is to review, discuss, and the approval of the departmental fee schedules for FY26. I'm going to trust that you've had a chance to go through them. Anytime that we're adjusting fees, I know that people do get a little antsy about that, and I can certainly understand that. I'm going to read a particular line from our packets that I think will certainly help alleviate some of the angst about it. It says, DLS also recommends periodic updates to fee schedules to reflect evolving costs, including indirect and administrative overhead. Excessive fees can be viewed as an unlawful tax if not directly tied to services rendered. So the fee schedule the fee schedules, because it's come from several departments that have been forwarded to us, have been researched, looking at our costs and looking at the fee schedules of towns that surround us, in particular the Wachusett District, which makes sense since we're tied in with them in many different ways. Does anybody have any particular discussion regarding the new fee structure?
I've reviewed the fees. They look reasonable to me. There's no sharp increases that I saw, so I have no problem with what's been submitted.
Chris, anything?
No.
Carol?
I'm just trying to find something. I might be missing it, but I just got a question why the general on-premise for the select board's licenses for alcohol has gone up more than the rest of them. Is that because everybody else is higher than ours? I know it's a new license for us. What it says.
Are you talking about the
General on-premise. It's
General on-premise?
450 to 800.
Heather, can you help us with,
And I might be missing something.
yeah, that's okay, why the general on-premise alcohol license has gone from 450 to 800?
I'm actually going to have to defer to Dawn on this one. She was the one who was able to put a bunch of time and research into this, so she may have some more insight than I do.
I should have known that.
Thank you. So actually, Carol, you hit the nail right on the head there. It is a new one, and it is for 7 saws. Because we didn't have any particular fee already set for them last year, we kept them at the 450 that we have for the other license. So with them being a new license now and getting into a new full year with them, this is the new rate that we're looking to implement for that particular one.
So, so the 450 was like a part year type thing?
Correct.
Okay. I knew it was for 7 saws. I just wondered why we were increasing it so much. Thank you. That explains it. Thank you.
Any other discussion on that? All right.
I have a question. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Does that include, I have a question regarding that. So the general on premises, how does that work? Or is there a fee for like a 1-day permit?
That's separate.
There's still the 1-day liquor license. Matter of fact, that hasn't changed. It's still going to remain at $50. The general on-premise is for the new establishment, really, inside the soccer asylum.
Okay, no, that's fine, thank you.
Any other questions or comments at all?
No.
No.
All right, may I have a motion then to accept and implement the new fee schedule?
I move that we go ahead and implement the new fee schedule as presented for the Select Board license fees.
I'll second.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, Julia,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Carol,
Aye.
Kirk,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. All right, next up, review, discuss, and approve building hours for new building hours, I guess we would say, for the town hall and the COA for FY '26. Heather, you want to give us,
Peter?
yeah, I was going to say, you want to give us the background on that one?
Well, before we get into that one, so it sounded like that motion seems specific just to the select board fee schedules. Was that supposed to be inclusive of the building and the fire, or did you guys
Yeah.
want to take a few moments to just look at those specific?
I will, I'll make a new motion.
Why don't you make a new motion?
I move that we accept the fee schedule for all of the new license fees being put forward, license and permit fees being put forward to us tonight.
I should have caught that.
I'll second.
Any further discussion other than Heather, thank you for catching that. All right, Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All right, now Heather, you want to kick off the discussion, please, of the building hours for the town hall and the COA?
Sure, so this is something I wanted to bring to the select board's attention to see if there was any consideration or any concern about the hours that are currently open. With the budget that's approved been approved and will be submitted to town meeting, it includes a reduction in some of the hours for some of the departments at town hall. In addition to that, it also includes reduction in the electricity lines, the heating oil, and so forth, to try to get everything in. It doesn't mean necessarily that we can't do everything within the numbers we have. It just means, you know, it could be extremely tight, and maybe something to consider, including reducing either some of the hours we have right now at town hall, or even closing the building an extra day to make sure that we're not pushing too much on the utilities. So as far as the hours go, I think I sent the select board a note on my Friday update. The two sets of hours that are in particularly affected, well, the treasurer collector's office reduces from 40 hours to, I think it's like 32 or 33, I want to say. I don't have the number in front of me. The assessor's office reduces from 27 hours to 21 hours, and the town administrator reduces from 40 hours to 20 hours. So those are a number of people who aren't going to be available, the number of hours that folks are used to people being available. And it's always possible to have town hall open when people are not necessarily there. But what we do find is a lot of times residents will come in looking for assistance on something and get very frustrated when there's not someone there that can help them with the reason they show up.
Now, when you and I had discussed this, I had passed the idea of perhaps closing the town hall 2 days a week instead of 1 day a week for January and February, or December, January, and February, the coldest of the months. If we're gonna, if heat and electricity, those are the least amount of daylight, and obviously the coldest months, maybe it would make sense just those 3 months rather than doing it all year round, especially, you know, as we get busy in the springtime especially, it's tough to close it down like that. But I want to hear your thoughts.
I think that makes good sense. We could consider adding in a day on the weeks where we have collections that are due for either excise or our quarterly tax bills. But other than that, I think it makes perfect sense to choose days that are during those months in order to get the most savings out of it.
Would it be more impactful to close like a Friday and a Monday, so it's not, or would that be too much of an impact to close on those two busier for the days, if we close the 2 days?
I would have to defer to either Donna or Heather for that since they're in there. Donna, what are your thoughts on Chris's question?
I mean, you close on a Monday, I understand, right, and not bring the temperature back up and have back
Right.
again. Your Monday's just gonna become Tuesdays, and Tuesday's just gonna become your busy day after a weekend. People are used to rushing there on Monday morning because they have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then you've been closed, so they close Monday. Your Tuesday's just gonna become your Monday. Because I completely understand what you're saying. It's, you know, like with the schools, you close down because of cold weather, they heat it back up for a day,
Right.
close it back down again. If that's what you're looking to save, then I think that makes sense.
Yep.
So should we try that for those 3 months? Carol, your thoughts?
Are we sure that the staff want to close 2 days?
No.
Yeah?
No, I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure, but no.
I'm not sure about that at all.
Exactly. I can see it as closing, and then there's still going to be certain people still there. So I don't know if that's a safe.
Well, I don't know if they'll necessarily still be there. They'll be working from home. The whole idea is if we're going to close because of that budget's going to be tight, those would be the, you know, even if we went January and February, those are going to be the months that would make the most sense. I don't think we need to do it year
I
round.
agree. I agree with what you're saying.
But I don't think, I mean, I'm sure that the people working there and certainly the people that are using the town hall would prefer it be open Tuesday through Friday. I mean, Monday through Thursday, sorry. But again, you know, we're hit with a budget reality here that we have to deal with. And I think this is just one of those realities.
Could we do something more of a flex schedule, maybe even like Friday 8 to noon?
Well, Friday's usually closed then.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's right.
There's people work, but
That's right. Have a flex on like a Monday where it's part day? I don't know. I'm just trying to think instead of closing a whole day. I agree with you. If we close 2 of the days, I think we'll definitely save during those months for sure.
I think the whole idea would be though, if we can keep that heat down
Yeah.
for 4 days in a row, that would probably make the most sense.
Yeah.
The lighting as well. Again, darkest time of the year.
Right.
Right.
yeah, I think Laurie wanted to say something.
One of our town hall employees would like to say something. She's getting used to her new work surroundings there.
Yeah, so just for what it's worth, I would prefer that the town hall not close an additional day. There's a fair amount of my work that can't be done remotely, so it just makes things a lot more challenging for me personally. I can't get onto the state computer, I don't have access from home, and of course all the files are in the office too, so I just wanted to throw that out there for what it's worth.
Okay. Not sure where to go from there then.
I think I understand Lori's plight 100%, but I think it's something that we're going to have to deal with for this period of time, unfortunately. You know, so Lori, I'm sure there's ways that, you're very innovative, so I'm sure you will find ways to make the most of that time. And I think hopefully this is a temporary thing and, you know, we'll be able to change it going forward. But for right now, I think we're going to have to make that change.
She'd still have access to the, you know, she'd still have access to her office. It just would be colder. It's not like she couldn't turn her light on. It just, the town hall wouldn't be open.
Well, I think, Peter, if I may,
Go ahead.
I think the goal of closing the town hall is to save on all the utilities, right? The other problem we run into, and we see this, you know, even if we're closed for a snowstorm, if anyone's there at all and someone sees a car, someone sees a light on, they just assume we're open and they come in. Or they go ring the doorbell and get let in, right? Unfortunately, I think this is just where we are with the funding we have. I think Peter's idea makes a lot of sense, you know, to try to save the biggest impact during those months. I think even as the year goes, even before that, the board and the TA and the executive assistant are going to have to be very mindful of the budget in those lines. and watch the utilities as it goes. The good news is that at this time, everyone at Town Hall has a laptop and they have voice over internet protocol on their phone under WebEx. So theoretically, if you call someone and they're working, it rings on their phone. So it's, it's no different if you call them and they answer the phone at the office. What impacts people is their ability to physically come in. And as much as, that can be a little bit more of an inconvenience, I think everyone has done as much as they can to spread the money as far as they can with what we have.
And I agree. I think it's a challenge. Originally, when this was brought to me, it was the idea of doing this year-round. I think that if we tried it for 3 months, I feel bad for Lori and anybody else that wants to be there, and I know Lori's not the only person who wants to be in that building working. I totally understand that, but it's a budget reality, and I think the Finance Committee did a phenomenal job trying to keep everybody as whole as possible. This is one of those inconveniences that just, I think, needs to happen. Kirk, any other thoughts?
No, I'm good. It's just sad.
Agreed, but it's reality. So then can I have may I please have a motion then to move the town hall days open during, and I don't care well, I do care, but I'll leave it up to you guys to decide if it's going to be December, January, February, or just January, February. But we'll go to 3 days a week during those months.
I move that we have town hall hours change for December, January, and February for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday work schedule.
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Nope.
So with my deepest regrets for our staff that have to work at home, Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Going through the meeting materials, I did not see any year-end transfers. Did I miss anything? I didn't miss anything. Excellent. Next up, we have old business. Any discussion needed in final preparation for our annual town meeting, which is just 1 week away?
Hey, Peter,
Yes.
just going back for a second, I think you had read it on the original agenda, but also the COA hours.
Oh, gosh, you're
For the
right. I
COA
did
building?
read it, and then we didn't discuss the COA. Thank you, Heather.
So the COA appears to be a little bit more of an energy hog. But I don't know if you guys want to try the same piece. I've talked to Cindy back and forth with a different couple ideas. I mean, we can always, if the board wants to hear a little bit more from Cindy, because if we're going to follow the same pattern as town hall, theoretically, you have a little bit more time. So we could always invite Cindy to an upcoming meeting.
It's a good
and
idea.
She could come talk to you about that. But there are a couple ideas, and with the COA, because other people use the building, it's a little bit more impactful, right? Because you have evening hour use. You also have, use of the basement, which I think is all electric heat. So that gets very costly in the winter. So different things like that to consider.
Yeah.
I think inviting Cindy in for our next, or any of our meetings, doesn't have to be the next one, we have a little bit of time to work on it, is a good idea. So if, Donna, can we put that invitation out to her, and whichever meeting she wishes to come in is fine with us. Heather, it's obvious that I've lost a little bit off my fastball in the 3 years that I was off, because I totally missed that. So thank you again. So I didn't see any year-end transfers, and as I was just asking, any discussion from board members or from Heather regarding final preparation for the annual town meeting?
I have none. We've made all of our recommendations. I don't know if we have anything that needs to be, that we need to meet on before the meeting. We do typically have that brief meeting ahead of time, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Can we still post an agenda just in case?
Yeah, we can
Makes
do
sense.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, anything?
Nothing.
First time through?
I don't, nothing right now.
Yeah.
All right. Kirk?
I'm good, thank you, sir.
All right.
Should probably remind everybody where and when to be.
Anna Maria College, 1 week from tonight, the 16th.
Zecco.
Was that?
Zecco.
Zecco, it's called the Zecco Building.
Yeah.
Is that, and that's, would you give us directions on how to get to the Zecco Building?
So if you were to head straight down Sunset Lane, and you get to the Rotary, you're going to go 3/4 of the way around the Rotary, and then Zecco is going to be up on your left. The parking, however, though, was probably going to be on your right as you're coming down the large parking lot, as you're coming down Sunset Lane, and then you'll walk over.
And then walk over.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the day that we don't have rain?
Let's hope.
All right. I'm on the Select Board correspondence. A couple things here. Okay, the first one is from the Paxton Police Officers Association dated June 3rd. It reads, several recent Finance Committee meetings have given the perception of a targeted and personal attack on the police department, and more specifically, anyone involved in the Anna Maria College partnership. Since the 2011 agreement was signed, officers working at the college or responsible for their supervision below the rank of lieutenant have been compensated as such through collective bargaining negotiated and signed off by the town. The chairman of the Finance Committee has openly singled out and called for the reduction of pay that the sergeant assigned to Anna Maria College receives. I, Sergeant Forrest Thorpe, run the day-to-day operations at Anna Maria College, including officer supervision, scheduling, event coordination, and am serving as a liaison between the college's residents' life and the police department. I attend regular meetings with college staff and other outside vendors having to do with campus public safety. Due to this increase in responsibilities, I receive a $1,200 per year stipend. Since my promotion to detective in 2012 and to sergeant in 2016, Anna Maria has paid the difference between the rate of pay from my previous position with the town as a patrolman. I have served this town in many different capacities since 2001 and have been a resident since 2007. The town only pays a portion of my regular salary, education incentive, and overtime with taxpayer funds. There are other officers in our union that also receive compensation from Anna Maria College in addition to Chief Sebasta and Lieutenant Bebo. This additional pay is due to increased responsibilities and workload generated by the college. To only be concerned about the yearly W-2 salary number and completely disregard the officer's additional pay from details, overtime, and contact benefits misleads the public as to how these officers are paid. I find the chairman of the Finance Committee's call for the officers receiving the compensation from Anna Maria to voluntarily give up that portion of their salary to help fund the town's budget insulting and a blatant violation of collective bargaining contract. As you are aware, the patrolman/supervisor's contract clearly states the rate of pay each position receives from the town, regardless of where the money comes from. This issue not only affects the officers in their current positions, but should changes be made, will affect any future promotions. To date, there has not been any impact bargaining initiated, and any attempt should not be discussed publicly in an open meeting. Should the pay for any officer covered by this contract be reduced at the wishes of the Finance Committee, we will hold the town liable to cover the difference and make whole the full salary the town has agreed to pay these officers. To ask any officer, including myself, to take less pay for more work is an added slap in the face to anyone who has stayed with this department through uncertain times. Given that we have lost 7 union members to other agencies due to these issues in the past 2 years, I sincerely hope you are not considering this option or any other option that is directed at hurting any of my fellow officers, financially or otherwise. Thank you for your time, Sergeant Forrest Thorpe. I have a second letter from the Paxton Police Officers Association, this one dated June 5th, 2025. After watching the June 3rd Select Board meeting, I feel the need to address a false statement made by Neil Bagdis during public comment. Mr. Bagnus implied that police department morale was low due to the salaries of the police chief and lieutenant. On behalf of the union members, I find this comment insulting and completely false. Both of these positions were contracted by the town where the select board agreed to fair compensation. The total W-2 salaries, as mentioned in previous meetings, does not accurately represent what any officer makes, as there are other factors such as private details, overtime, and contractual benefits. Both of these positions are also paid a portion of their contracted salary by Interim College for their added duties and responsibilities for running public safety and policing operations on their campus. While it may be true that morale in the department is somewhat low due to the multiple failed override attempts and the town's uncertain financial future, that does not coincide with any member of this department's salary or how they are paid. We are all members on the same team here, and we are all compensated for our hard work and dedication to keeping Paxton safe. The overall sense of lack of support in recent times, spreading false information, and publicly attacking members of this department does contribute. Should the select board, any town committee, or any resident have questions or need clarification on any of these issues, I would be happy to make myself available to meet with them. Thank you for your time. Sergeant Forrest Thorpe, and that is all of the select board correspondence in the file. Heather, do we have a town administrator's report?
I only have two brief things. The first is I'm currently working on the information sheet that we always disseminate before and at the town meeting with information. It just has the warrants, the motions when Roger's all set with them, and then the approvals and just a brief explanation. We're going to try to put a little bit more information out this time. We'll see how that goes. I don't want to make any promises until we can see what we can get, but we will make sure we include posting. I know, Peter, you brought up a good question. Where are we going and how do we get there? I went down to the senior center last week during their COA cafe, and that was a question I got quite a few times. So we will try to get on the web a picture of where they're going, along with instructions for parking and navigating the building once they get inside, so that they have that as well as the information sheet. And then the only other thing really for an update, I would actually defer over to Donna. I don't have a lot of information on, but I'm sure she'd like to speak for a few moments on upcoming Paxton days.
Absolutely. First of all, fingers crossed the weather goes our way on Saturday. That is first and foremost. Paxton Days with Summer Jam. Outside annual event that we have every year this Saturday starting at 10 a.m. goes till about 8 p.m. We have the food trucks coming in. We've got upwards of 30 plus vendors, a lot of town committees that are there. Recreation does a great job with the snack shack being open, bounce house, soccer slalom there with activities outside, Boy Scouts there with activities outside. The summer jam starts around 11 a.m.-ish, I believe, and will go until about 8 p.m. They've got a whole schedule already out of all the bands that are coming in and playing there. Should we unfortunately hit inclement weather, we do shift inside Paxton Center School. Unfortunately, if that happens, the summer jam does not, because they do not play in the rain, rightfully so. They will reschedule for some other day down the road. We shift all the vendors inside. Obviously, we lose some of the outside activities that can occur. The food trucks will stay. They hunker down in the parking lot and do the best they can with the weather that's permitted. The day will be much shorter then. It will still start at 10 o'clock, but we'll probably wind up around 2, 3 o'clock-ish if we have to move it inside. So come on down. We'll look forward to see everyone.
I have a pressing question. If it gets moved inside, what happens to the beer?
That would probably be up to 7 Sauce, I would have to say. They're welcome to come and join along, but that
Can't drink it in the school, right?
Not in the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
They have a pop-up to it.
They would
Good to
have
know.
Well, last time
stay
that
outside.
I'll bring one for you, Julie, how's that?
Well, last time that happened, the food truck was outside the
Yes.
building.
Right.
Yes.
So they could be outside of the food truck.
Right. Yep.
So I don't see a problem there.
They would have to stay outside. If they're willing to do that in the rain, then we're happy to have them.
Let's hope for some decent weather.
It's looking like light showers. Light showers will not move us inside. I mean, it's got to be like constant, strong rain to drive us inside. We really try to keep it outside no matter what, so let's hope.
A lot can change in 5 days.
It can, and that's what I'm hoping for, to the better.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's your town administrator's report, Heather?
Yes, it is.
All right, thank you. All right, citizens speak.
So the only person I have on here who's in department, I think, is Leah.
Could I ask that the two letters that you read from be sent to my attention for forwarding to the Finance Committee?
Absolutely, I'll give these back to Donna, she can scan them in and send them to you.
Thank you. There were two of them.
Yep, both of them. The one's dated June 3rd and the other one June 5th.
Were they both addressed to the Select Board?
Yes.
Okay.
That it?
Thank you.
All right. All right, anything else? Julia?
I have nothing.
Chris?
Nothing.
Carol?
No.
Kirk?
I am all set, sir.
All right. I'll just wait for a motion then.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All set.
All right. We have a motion, a second. I don't think there's going to be a lot of discussion about this. Seeing none. Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We are adjourned.